your girl Queen.jmoneey, A.K.A Joyce, whatever. And this is my first YouTube video, so go ahead and like and subscribe. And make sure you click that notification bell so you can get notified when I post a new video. Without further ado, let's get into the video. Today's video is basically going to be on my pregnancy, my experience, how I found out, just the whole 9 yards, because I get a lot of questions about it. And like people just like, I don't know, like they be trying to go off my pregnancy, but you can't go off another person's pregnancy because everybody's pregnancy is different. Like people say they found that they was pregnant because they missed their period. Well, in my case, I had already had my period for that month, so that next month I had already knew that I was pregnant, so I knew I wasn't gonna have my period, if that makes sense. But okay, so starting with how I found out. So I had a lot of pain going on in my stomach. A lot of pain. A lot. Like, basically it was pains dealing with my cyst that I have on my ovary. So me thinking it was that, I went to the hospital. And the doctor came in and was like, no, before the doctor came in, my mama had, it's crazy because my mom got checked in at the hospital right when I got checked in. Like, that's so crazy. But she took me to the hospital or whatever, and she took me to the hospital, and she was gonna get ready to leave to get my dad. And he ended up, she was gonna go get him, and she was in the hallway. I mean, I said in the hallway, she was outside. And they was like, this lady ran in, she's like, is this your mama? I was like, I know my mama just walked outside, so let me go see. So I ran after. It was her passed out. So they ended up, I had ran over and got on top of her. I was like, mama, mama, mama. And I started crying. I'm like, what's wrong? Mama, mama, mama. So they ended up putting her in the room. As soon as they put her in the room, they ended up calling me for me to go back into the room. They made me, do the P test. And they drew blood. Yeah, I hate getting my blood drawn. Ugh, it's the worst. Like, I really hate getting my blood drawn. Drew my blood or whatever. And then he came back and was like, Miss Robinson? And I was like, yes. He was like, so from your P test, your results came back and you're pregnant. And I looked at him and I'm like, no, I'm not. He was like, yes, ma'am, you are. I was like, no, I'm not. You're playing. No, I'm not. He was like, yes, you are. So me and him then had like a slight little argument, arguing about if I'm pregnant or not. Like, I just didn't believe that I was. I just looked at him like, no, you're lying. No. But then, I ended up believing him. Like, y'all, I cried so hard. When I found out, I cried. It was just like, this can't be real. Like, you're playing. Like, no, not me. Like, no. Like, no. But that's all I could say was like, no, not me. Like, it was just, ugh. So, I was on the phone with my play brother. Before I even found that I was pregnant, he kept saying it. Like, he kept saying, you're pregnant, because my girl was going through the same thing, like, you're pregnant. And I'm just saying to myself, no, I'm not, bro. And I kept telling him, I was like, bro, no, I'm not. Like, you're not going to tell me this. Like, no, I'm not. I'm probably just having problems with my sister, so I'm like, nah. So he had already knew, and then once he heard the doctor say yeah, he was just like, I told you, just rubbing it in my face. I'm like, this is not a time to be like rubbing this in my face. Like, so then I think I ended up calling my auntie, which my auntie, she raised me since she had me since I was a little girl, like literally a little girl, like probably like 3-4 years old. That's who raised me. So, like, it was more than right to call her first and let her know first because, like, she's basically like a mama figure to me. So, I had to call her and let her know, like, hey, this will happen. Or this is what's happening, like, So, I ended up telling her. And she was just like, I'm not mad. Like, you finna be out of high school. You got, like, a week, couple days left in high school. You graduated, so that's, I'm not mad. Like, things happen, like, you know, basically, like, just giving me some encouraging words, like, telling me stop crying, it's gonna be okay, like, you gotta have this baby, or whatever. So I'm just like, okay, like, you know, look, pull yourself together, you got this. Like, the whole time I'm over here encouraging myself, like, it's okay, and she telling me it's okay. I'm just like, yo, like, it hit me, like, confident, tell mama, like, I don't know, like, I'm too nervous, like, 'cause I look at her like she my mama too, like, you know. So it was just kind of like, I'm a little shaky about this, like, I don't know how to tell. So I texted him. Mind you, the whole time that I found out I was pregnant, me and him was into it, like, we got into it, so we wasn't talking or whatever. So I had ended up telling him, well, I texted him, he was like, stop playing with me, like, you just said it so we can get back together. I was like, nah, like, I'm for real, like, this is for real, this is really happening, like, what are you talking about? Like, I'm not playing, this is for real. So then he FaceTimed me that morning, and he was like, show me the test results or whatever he asked for. And I showed him the paper. Like, I didn't actually get like a sonogram or nothing, because my mom had ended up discharging me herself because she was tired or whatever, and she was ready to go. My stepdad had just got off of work, and he was ready to go. So she was like, we just finna like discharge you ourselves, and we finna go. So I didn't get to get no sonogram, but I did have a paper showing like my reason for coming in, and when I took my urine test, it came back positive for pregnancy. So I had that, and it had like a little person in the little stomach showing the uterus and whatever, showing basically saying that I'm pregnant. So I showed him that, and he didn't believe. Like, he was still saying like, bro, you playing, like, that ain't no real test. So I ended up texting his mama, and I was just like, no, okay, so before that, he ended up texting me like, well, just because you're pregnant don't mean we're gonna get back together. And I was like, okay, that's fine. I'm just letting you know you got a baby on the way or whatever. You know the whole story. So I ended up texting his mama, and I was like, hey, mom, I got something to tell you. We gotta talk. So she didn't respond back till probably like, it was probably like third period. Mind you, we only take 4 classes a day at the start. So we was like in second or third period. Well, I wasn't, because we was in the gym getting our paper notarized or whatever for us to cross the, so saying we can cross the stage. So I'm just walking around the school or whatever, sitting in different teachers' class, just bothering them like I always do. So I had ended up being in one of my teachers' class talking to her, and she had ended up seeing the paper, so we was talking about it or whatever. And, you know, like, she was just really telling me, like, don't be mad at yourself or don't be disappointed or nothing like that. Like, you're at the end of school and you did it, like, you know. So you got nothing but time. You ain't got to drop out and take care of no baby or nothing like that. You're good. So I ended up getting a text on my phone, and I'm just like, I looked and I seen who it was, and I'm just like, oh my God. Like, my whole heart, I caught butterflies, my heart dropped. Like, I feel like I was on a whole roller coaster for the end of my life. Like, I was just like, wow. The text message said, so you done laid up and got your ass pregnant. Y'all, like, my whole heart just dropped. Like, I didn't know what to do. So I think either that day or the next day or sometime that week, she had ended up coming picking me up from school because I had got out of school early. Y'all, when I tell y'all, when she came pick me up, and I was in the car, like my shoulders weren't literally, you know, hunched like this, but my body was just tight, and like I was so nervous when I got in the car. But she didn't say anything about it. Like, at that moment, she didn't say nothing. She was just like, are you going home or are you coming with me? I was like, I'm coming with you. And then we ended up going to McDonald's getting us something to eat. So I'm thinking everything cool, y'all. Like, literally thinking everything's cool, you know, chilling. Like, I done put the pregnancy behind me, like, still, like, you know, but I'm still nervous about it because I know she know now. So we ended up getting to the house, and my pops, which is her husband, was here. And she was like, that's what we're going to talk to about. And I was just like, I can't. Like, my heart dropped again. Because I look at him like he's my father. So he was just like, I can't do that. No. I can't do that. No. I can't do that. Nah. Nope. Nah. I'm not doing it. Nope. Like, I just didn't know what to do. Like, I paused and was just like literally just puzzled, like nervous, scared. Like, I can't even explain the feeling I had in my body at that moment. Like, you really want me to go outside and talk to my pops about this? Like, I can't do that. Nope. So I think he ended up coming in. We talked about it, I think, and you know, we ended up getting it out the way or whatever. And then the jokes came. Your baby mama, your baby daddy, blah, blah, blah. Them jokes came. So I'm just like, okay, I feel better about it now. Like, the main people who I really needed to know, who I really wanted to know, knows now. So I have nothing to worry about now. Like, you know, I got that out the way. Everything is done. Like, the stress is over. So, boom, my little belly starts to grow or whatever. And I'll show pictures, I guess. Or not, I don't know. But my belly starts to grow. Slowly, getting a belly. So fast forward, 9 months is here. I'm 9 months. And oh yeah, me and him, we got back together. Whatever. We were just angry at each other for the moment. But we ended up getting back together, whatever. So 9 months passed by, and yeah, so I have a false labor, I guess, whatever you want to call it. But I feel like he was gonna come, but he was false alarm. I went to the hospital, and I had to stay a little bit because his heart had ended up, well, his heart rate stopped, or heart stopped, whatever. But he was okay. And then I ended up going home, and probably like a couple weeks later, boom. So that night, the night before I had, the actual day I had him, I kept getting contractions. So at first I was thinking, well, maybe, you know, cause I was already getting like back pains and stuff like that. So I was just thinking like, okay, well, maybe it's just me having like some more cramps in my back or whatever. So I was already getting those. And I was like, well, maybe it's just Braxton Hicks. That's what they call it. Maybe I'm just getting Braxton Hicks. But no, baby. The whole night, it was happening. Literally. From probably like, I say probably like 12 at night to literally the next day. I was steady getting contractions, Braxton's, whatever you want to call them. But I think they were really contractions. I was getting contractions. Like, he was coming. So I ended up going to probably like 5 in the morning, 6 in the morning, and I'm just like steady, like through the night, I'm just like steady waking him up, waking Isaiah up, like, hey, like, I can't, no, like, stay up with me, it hurts. Like, I'm just the only person up in the house walking around. Like, I started getting frustrated because like he's just sleeping all good, and every time I shut my eyes, I'm waking right back up to pain. Like, so it was a little hard. So I ended up waiting because I didn't want to wake his mom up and nobody, like, you know, they sleep. But if it would have like came to like major, you know, things, then I would have been like, hey, I gotta wake your mom up now. But I ended up waiting until like 6 o'clock in the morning. I think, yeah, it was about 6 o'clock, maybe 5, 6. And I wake her up, I'm like, I can't, I'm having really bad contractions. Like, I done tried to walk and breathe him through. Like, he's coming, like, today's the day. He's coming today. I know for a fact he's coming today. So, we ended up timing him, and they were 5 to 10 minutes apart. So she was like, okay, put your clothes on. Y'all put your clothes on. We're going to the hospital. Protect to the hospital. So before we get to the hospital, we stopped getting some because I love food. And I'm not going to the hospital without eating. Because I know I'm going to be there for a minute, you know. So we ended up stopping, getting us something to eat or whatever. And then we make it to the hospital. So me and his mama, we get out. And we're in the front, we're finna get ready to go upstairs. He go park the car. And they put me in a room, they asked me like all the important information and stuff like that. And then that's when it was like, so they put me in a room just to watch me, like watch my contractions and stuff like that. They came back and they were like, well, your contractions are not 5 to 7 minutes. So we finna, we're gonna send you home. But before that, we're gonna send somebody in to check. This is to check some, I think the liquid around him or whatever. They checked that or whatever, and it wasn't enough liquid around him. So they was like, so today's the day. We're gonna induce you, and you're gonna have the baby today. I'm just like I was happy but shocked at the same time. Like I didn't know like how to feel because like I'm actually finna have my baby. Like I'm planning to have a whole baby. So they take me over to labor and delivery, and we just like in the room patiently waiting. They bring in the pill, y'all. That pill was as small as this hole, like literally, probably smaller. Yeah, my iPad had ended up dying, so let's just finish. So they end up giving me the pill or whatever, and y'all, like when I tell y'all the pill kicked in within like 5 to 15 minutes, and I was just like all over the place. I was sitting in the bed, but I'm just like, oh my gosh, my back gonna fall off. Like I'm crying, not crying at the same time. Like I just like, y'all, I literally acted like a whole 2-year-old. I can say that I was very dramatic. Like that pain is nothing to play with. Like it's worse than period cramps. I can honestly say that. Like honestly, it was worse than period cramps. Like that level of pain was a whole new level that I ain't never experienced. I do not want to experience again. So they came in and was like, do you want they asked me like, so how's your cramps? I mean, how's your contractions? I'm like y'all, like I was being over dramatic. So they're like, do you want the epidural? And I'm like, yeah, I can get the epidural because like at first I had like problems with my blood count, not my blood count, my blood pellets or whatever, because my blood pellets were low or something like that. But I end up getting them back up or whatever, and time for me to saying I can basically have an epidural. So I ended up taking the epidural. I cried because they told me that my mom and them had to get out, and I'm just like, they're the only people who's keeping me calm. Like I need them in here with me. And they was like, no one can be in here but the doctors and nurses or whatever. So I'm just like, all right, now I'm even more uncomfortable with getting this. Cause I heard so much on getting the epidural. So it's just like, I wanted them in here to like keep me company, to keep me comfort, give me comfort and stuff like that. Like, and I don't have that no more. So it's just like, okay, now my thoughts are back. Like, should I get the epidural? And then again, I know I can't do this without it. Like, I had like, so I was in there literally crying. Like, no, don't leave me. Like my hand was like literally shaking. Like, don't leave me. Like, no. So then I end up letting them do the epidural, but before I gave him a hard time giving me the epidural. Girl, by the time my mom and them get back in the room, I'm in there laying on my phone like ain't nothing happened. Like, you know, like I'm just calm now. I'm pain gone. Baby, I'm loving this. Like I'm having a whole baby. Can't even tell. But yeah, like I can literally say like the contractions are horrible when they induce your labor. Like I couldn't deal with them no more. So they was like, so after they gave me the epidural, we was basically playing a waiting game, waiting for him to come, you know. And then I had like a little moment where I think my oxygen level dropped or something like that. But they was like, it's coming because, you know, they did induce me or whatever. So like they had to lay me on this side, And Melanie started putting me on the oxygen mask. So I'm just over here just like, So I finally get on the side that he normally sits on, and he's fine. Only reason why I think that he did that was because, like they said, they broke my water when they was checking to see how much I had dilated or whatever. They broke my water during the time, and he got like excited because like all the fluids had drained or whatever off of him. So yeah, that's basically why everything has started happening. Sorry, I got him real quick. But yeah, so after that, basically playing a waiting game around 7 something. A new doctor came in, was like, I'm finna change your bed stuff or whatever. And you know, she looked and she was like, oh, it's time for you to push. So like out of nowhere, all the nurses started rushing in, and you know, they were rushing in or whatever. And I'm just like it's time. Like, so I had him at 7:40, I believe, and it was just the most wonderful thing in the world. Like, I was crying at the same time I was pushing. Like, I wasn't crying because I was in pain. It was the most wonderful thing in the world. Like, I was crying during me actually having him. Like, I had my boyfriend right there rooting me on. His dad, he was like, you got this, like, come on, you almost hurt, like, come on, you got it, you good. And then when he came out, like, I didn't even get to see him. As soon as he came out, he was there. They took him, you know, to go do his little, give him his shots and stuff like that, you know, clean him. Yeah, and then I had to get stitches, you know, because they had to cut me. Yeah. But I can honestly say, like, that was the best day of my life when he came. Like, I just, like, I don't know. Like, it was just, you know, amazing. Like, I had a whole baby, you know. And now, he's, you know, he's here 7 months later, you know. And that is the end of this video. Look who decides to wake up at the end. But yeah, so make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and make sure you turn on the notification bell to get notifications when I post a new video. Period. And we are out. Peace.